Okay, I see it now. Okay, cool. Shouldn't he mute me? Yeah, actually. Yeah, can you...
Well, I've muted the stream. I didn't mute the Skype, so...
No, it's fine. It's fine. Actually,
Yeah.
I can mute it on my end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah, you won't be able to hear me anymore. But just talk out what you're thinking, and then I'll be talking to the stream. And then every once in a while, I'll chime in and talk to you. But you probably won't hear me for a little while now. Okay?
This guy's not doing anything.
Yeah, we might need another game, but maybe he's firing up his engine.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll wait for an actual game to start before I mute it for you. But
Can I just abort this without losing any points, or?
Yeah, because he hasn't made a move yet. So yeah, you can.
I won't.
Yeah, Goose, I will mute it for Skype. I just need to I need to wait for him to actually get a game before I do that. Okay.
Nope.
Tell me when you get another one.
Right now.
Okay, got it. Is it the same guy?
No.
Oh, are you? Okay, never mind. Okay, go ahead. I see you. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and start talking, and I'm gonna mute my mic on Skype so you won't be able to hear me.
Okay, I think what Jerry tells us is we go with the bishop to f5 to get outside the pawn chain. So I'll do that.
Makes sense.
I don't like to concede the center, though.
Okay, he should think about developing his knights or getting his bishop out. Okay, so h6 is probably not the best, but he gives his bishop away back. Okay, so he's developing his queen. Again, he should try looking to develop his minor pieces first before developing his queen. Okay, now the bishop's attacked. Okay, so he moves it back. Now, if the bishop takes the bishop, when the rook takes, he's not going to be able to castle kingside, so that might be a problem. So I probably would have taken the bishop first. Okay, now he has to watch out for e6. Okay, so g5 attacks the bishop, but his kingside is starting to be a little loose. He has to watch out. So now e6 again might be a threat. Okay, so he plays e6 to stop it. Okay, watch out for his rook. So he's gaining tempo now, white, by playing queen d3. So now that rook is kind of awkward on g7. Usually you don't want to fiend kettle your rook.
I've got ideas of going to f5.
Okay, so now he wants to put his knight on f5. Makes sense. Okay, so that's a good square for his knight. But he has to realize it could get chased away with g4 at some point. So it's not a permanent home. But he should really look to get his knight out on b8. Okay. So I would
Maybe to c4 at some point.
Yeah, so he recognizes c4 as a weak point on white's camp, but the problem is b3 can chase his knight away.
If g4, I might retreat my knight back.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and maybe prevent the c file.
Yeah, so he realizes g4 might be coming, but he realizes that he can bring his knight back. Okay,
We'll
so
line that up.
Okay, so now g4 came. Okay, he brought his knight back. Okay, now he should realize that f4 is a point he might want to get his knight to at some point. Okay, so he did. I would still try to break up this pawn structure too with c5. Get my king to b8, play rook c8, and then play c5. Because if black can get white can get a bind on the dark squares, it's gonna be tough for black to get space. Because white has more space now because of his advanced pawns. So as black, I'd be trying to look for...
I wonder how good his bishop is, his dark squared bishop that's left.
Yep, it's a good point. His dark squared bishop is bad.
Whether I should push my knight on the f file.
Okay, so here I'd play b5
I don't think that I can support any recaptures after that.
to support that knight.
And
And then if
I
he
don't
took
really
the
want to
knight,
open that up that much.
you'd win a piece. So, okay, yeah. So he retreated, but he should have looked at b5. Because he wants to put a clamp on that c4 square. I mean, black's bishop is technically good, but it's really no better than this bishop on g3 right now. So he needs to try to get it out.
I feel like my rook's jammed terribly.
Yep, his rook is jammed. Yeah, b5, a4, you can play a6, bebop. This is Montsalvat. I'll type it in the chat. So f4 is going to be played. White wants to open this f file, and this bishop is not helping anything. So black should probably try to play c5 with a threat of c4, and then if pawn takes, knight takes, and then try to get this bishop on the c5 diagonal. Okay, so he played bishop e7, but really, I mean, he's not threatening anything. f6 is bad because pawn takes pawn, is, wins a piece. Okay, so f4. So now this rook is going to come into the game now. And he doesn't necessarily want to trade this knight for this bad bishop, because technically this is a bad bishop. So actually what I try here is maybe bishop to g5, and then try to, yeah, see, now I don't like this so much for white. But if he played
I have a chance to double up my rooks.
g5. Yeah, so the problem is white can now double on the f
In case
file.
of a pawn push on h.
And his rooks are not as well coordinated. And this knight is out of play on a5, or on a4. So yeah, he's doubling his rooks, but they're not attacking anything.
Even thinking about maybe taking out that knight and then rerouting the knight to...
are attacking f7. And yeah, okay, so now he traded off his good bishop for this knight that wasn't doing anything. So now he has this silly piece on a4 versus this knight on d2 that's going to be hopping into f6 probably. Yeah, he is really passive here. I agree. So yeah, I mean his open file for his rooks is blocked by this g4 pawn, whereas this file for white's rooks is nice. So now he's threatening rook takes h6. Okay, so now he's blocking it up even more.
I think now I can get the queen.
Okay, watch out, the knight's attacked. So the knight needs to really start defending. He needs to get back.
Nope.
As fast as possible. And he wants to be like on g6, probably. So yeah, he plays b5. Yeah, his knight is way out of play on a4. All the action's happening on the king side. His knight's way out of play. So he should be trying to bring it back.
Some rerouting of their own.
Yeah, so that knight's going places. Okay, so he's sacrificing this pawn, trying to create an open line, which is smart, but unfortunately white can just pass through. So yeah,
take
pawn
the
takes
pawn, it's free.
Rook g2 was good. So yeah, now he's hoping...
Free pawn.
He's hoping knight takes pawn, rook takes pawn. But then of course rook takes pawn happens, so it's not so great.
Okay.
He really needs to get this knight into the game. So I try something like queen a5 and b4, try to attack the c3 point. I mean, really, it's the only way you're gonna get this knight into the game. So he's just not worried too much about the king side anymore, and play queen a5 and b4, and hope that white doesn't play a3. And if white plays a3, then you can move your queen back and try to play a5 and b4, and there's another target on the queen side. But I mean, that knight's gonna take forever to get around. Like it has to go to d7, f8, g6, and even there it's just passive. So he'll probably play knight d7. Yeah, he's playing pretty quickly. It's another good point. Okay, so now h4 falls, because now the g5 pawn's offended. Like his queenside play is just way too slow. Like this b4 idea is coming like 7 moves too late, unfortunately. Okay, so now he's trying c3, but that just loses another pawn. Queen takes c3. And
I have no intention of trading at this moment.
Yeah, he shouldn't trade either, but... Okay, now he can play pawn takes pawn. White made a mistake, but... Okay, now this knight actually has a future. G6 was... Yeah, it's probably a good move for white, but white has to be a little careful now. Now knight c4 is an idea. Yeah, now if pawn takes pawn, knight a3 wins the queen. And you're threatening pawn takes pawn. So this is actually getting good for white, or for black, because now if b3, knight a3 wins the queen. So that pawn is lost, actually. That pawn on b2 is lost. So this is actually good for black now. White messed this up. He shouldn't have allowed all this. Okay, so h4, so now pawn takes pawn.
Thoughts of taking on
Two.
b2.
Yep. Take with the pawn.
And then throwing in a check.
Yep.
On the king. King can't recapture.
Yep. He's right. Now knight a3 is almost mating. This is awesome. If he can get knight a3. I don't even see what white does here. I guess he has to like queen... Uh-oh, knight a3 wins. Material. Although he loses the queen. Oh man, he does lose his queen back. He should have maybe tried king b8 first, so he doesn't lose his queen. But now, unfortunately, after knight takes queen, he loses the queen. I don't think he saw that. Yeah, it's not over yet, because these two pawns are dangerous. That's not over yet. He did win the queen, but he's now gonna realize that his queen's lost. Oh man. So he's up material. But these two pawns are very safe. This knight defends.
Well, isn't everything I expect it to be, but I think I'm up in material.
Yeah, he's up in material, but he's losing, I think, now. Because this A pawn is also dangerous. And his rooks are too passive. Now
Have a little
h5.
fun with the king.
h6. This rook is going to look really silly soon. Maybe even g6 and then try to win this pawn. This is uber dangerous. This is uber dangerous. Okay, so now g6, yep. So now if rook takes... Okay. So you have to be careful now. So maybe rook h3, pinning the knight. And then at g7 you can play like rook g8 and try to win that pawn from behind. Because if you play rook g7, I think rook f7 wins. Because rook takes pawn takes and you have knight g5, knight takes e6, and then f8 queen. So yeah, he played rook h3, so I think it's a good move. Now rook g3 is coming. Okay, so now he can play king c6, defend the pawn. And if g7 he can play... Oh, king a8 I don't think was a good move. Yeah, so g7. So he has to watch out for rook f8 now. So he has to play, I believe, rook g3. Yeah, rook g8 loses to rook f8. So he has to play rook g3. And then he's still okay. But he shouldn't have played king a8, because now he can never play rook g8. He should have moved his king to the 6th rank. So he has to find rook g3 here. Can I play him next? No. He's just playing people on Chesscube. Not anyone in particular. He got all quiet. Please find rook g3. Yeah. This is a tough position, so he's thinking. You can tell he's thinking. Oh, no. That's not good. Now rook f8 is going to win by force next move. Yeah, he should have... Yeah, no, he was focused too much on... I think he was focused too much on the g7 pawn, but that doesn't...
No, it didn't work out good at all.
Yeah, I think he just realized. See? Now he just realized it didn't work out. Yeah, so now rook f8. I think he thought he had something, like removing the rook from the 7th rank, but he didn't realize that it actually did nothing. So, yeah, this is over now.
No.
Yeah. I'll wait till he resigns, but... Yeah. Now, rook and queen against rook is not good. I'm the only spectator.